Dave here. How are you? Today is the 25th of April, Anzac Day for us in Australia and New Zealand. Thank you very much for everyone letting me know that the stream is running and coming through loud and clear. Anzac Day is it's a funny day really, because a lot of businesses will not operate on Anzac Day out of respect to the Anzacs. I'm broadcasting around the world, so to a lot of people around the world, Anzac Day will have no meaning. But for the people in Australia, if you've been off to the dawn service or been to an early service during the day, I'm hoping that you've got that part squared away. Today, from 11 or 12 o'clock on, is a fun part of the day. People will start going to hotels and playing two-up and things like that. So as regarding two-up, ask in the comment section or in the chat section, and I'm sure there's some Aussies there will tell you what two-up is. It involves a couple of pennies, and it's a gambling game that's en masse, and it's allowed once a year. It's illegal for the rest of the year, but today is the day everyone goes nuts with it. So there we go. The Lutyens bench. This is the last day of the bench, and how good is it looking? I'll come over beside it so you can get some idea of the size of it. It is a 3-seater, and I'm really happy with it. Now, good morning to everyone. Wayne, Harry, Terence, Fix-It, Fingers, Gilly, Giles, Brian, John, Parra, Carl, Peter, everyone who's making comment, good morning. Now, on the show today, what I want to do is this front slat I've already cut to length. Now, what's going to happen with this is I'm going to put a bit of a round on the corner there. It's going to sit proud of the front rail on the bench here, and the round there, and I'm going to use the round over tool as well to continue a 1/4 inch round along the front. I think it's possibly only got a 3/16. This is spotted gum decking, and the reason I've gone a 3-inch slat instead of a 4-inch slat is because there is a shape in the actual seat rail. The wider I made it, the more void would be underneath it. Now, I was thinking about creating a little bit of a dish like that, like create a convex convex shape under here where it's going to sit on the rail, so it married down perfectly. But instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is, on all of the other slats that I put on, I'm going to put 2 screws per slat, per rail. And they'll be at the sides, and that's where the pressure point will be pulling it down. So there won't be any real load in the middle. So I'm thinking that's how I'm going to go. The other thing I was wondering, I was speaking to Cole this morning about it, should I leave these kind of a natural colour and finish them with some kind of external weatherproof timber finish, like seal it, or should I paint them white like the rest of the bench? My thoughts are that I will paint it white, gloss, like I've done this, because the other bench that's out where this is going to go, which is beside the fountain that Vicky and I built about 4 years ago, the other bench out there was built by Arthur, my great-grandfather, and it's all white the whole way through. So for the sake of uniformity, I may go that way, but if you've got some thoughts, it looks more like a 4-seater. Well, I've lost a bit of weight. It's an ordinary person's 3-seater, but for a skinny guy like me, 4-seaters. Okay, so to start it off, and there's nothing else happening today. I will let you know that Derek Lark won on auction 2 Turner 220 block plane blades, and he sent one to me. And I am over the moon about it, because mine is a Stanley blade that I've got in my little 220 Turner. So now the whole set that I have will be totally original, and I'm just stoked. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Derek. That's just wonderful. I know he's been trying to do it for ages, but there's been a little bit of fun and games with this eBay page that he bought it from. But he finally got them, and he sent it to me, and I've got it. Now, to lock these down, I'm going to use stainless steel decking screws. So there's no bleed or staining from an ordinary steel or a galvanized screw. I haven't got, but I have these. Now they're Robertson drive, so I'll be using a number 2 Robertson drive to put them in. I may not actually do that part today because if I put a finish on it, I'll either paint or stain, whatever. And I want to do it all prior to screwing them down. But what we will be doing is this kind of a thing. Now, this is an end of the piece of decking, and look how nicely the Capex cuts it. What I'm going to do is drill a hole using this guy. This is an Amana tool drill with a 3/8 countersink that goes to being parallel after that. And then I'll use the plug cutter. It's a tapered plug cutter, that kind of a thing there. And it's, again, 3/8, 9.5 millimeters to create the plugs. So I'll show you how to make these little plugs and drill the holes, all that kind of stuff. First thing we're going to do is shape the end, if that's okay. I'll do a quick read down the side. Morning, Nathan. Tannin stains. Yes, yep. But I seal this stuff, all of this stuff I've sealed with this kind of thing. Now, I'm not sponsored by this company at all. This is just straight out a primer sealer, undercoat and stain blocker. That's what this is. So that's what I've painted the bench with first, and then I sprayed it. So I did all that by brush, and I sprayed it using white night stuff. And I use an awful lot of cans. It's not the most economical way to do it, but rather than buy a spray gun, and it's given me quite a nice finish. You do have to go extremely light on the passes on the coats because it will run really quickly. I know because it did. All right. It would be an interesting contrast. Yes, Peter. But I'll show you something at the end of the show which is also making me sway towards the white. First thought was leave it natural, but there's an all-white one already. I think match it up. Dave, hopefully you can respond back to me at some point after the live show. Jeffrey, get in touch with John yourself. Send him an email. You'll be fine. John could also be watching the show. And I have to talk to him about a couple of things as well that he needs to send up to me. But send him an email at yellowboxshed.com.au. Excellent, Derek. It was wonderful. Michael House, morning, Dave, and everybody. That is enough talking. Let's get stuck into it. So I will mark it up. I'll bring this other camera over here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Spin that around like so. Go to the other camera. Where are we? Tip it up a bit. You've done it 3 times already? Okay. Well, I will also try and contact him for you. You've made it live for a change, but that's wonderful. All right, so that's where we're going to put this piece. Now you can see it's got an overhang here. Let me see if you can see that all right. I might drop this down a touch. That a bit easier. And around the corner. That's a lot easier. You can see what I'm up to now. So there is an overhang, a roundover coming down here, and just around the corner, I'm going to put a circle here, and then I'm going to run the roundover to marry up with this pencil round. I'll make this a deeper pencil round as well. So what I need to do is bring that forward. This is going to sit totally on this rail. I'm not having overhang on this side of the rail at all. The overhang is going to be here. So it's a nice lip. It just gives it a nice appearance in my book. So it's sitting there, and to create, where is it? Okay, now you do know that John has had a kidney, his second kidney removed, so he's been back in hospital a couple of times after that. And I will contact him and see how he's doing. But yes, if you've paid for something, definitely you should be receiving it. If John can't do it, well then we'll see if we can get someone else to knock it up for you in the meantime. So there we go. That's the line that I'm going to do. Now, ordinarily I would cut that off with a bandsaw, but I think I'm going to do it totally with the drum sander. Now I'm going to work from the other end, so I need to flip it over and transfer it on the back. And it'll make sense in a minute. I'm just going to sneak my head over the top here and move this back to about there. And you guys might be thinking, what is he doing? It'll make sense. There. All right. And the other end. Making sure that we're on the right side. We are. All right. Got it. Now I'm going to spin this camera back over here so you can see why I did what I just did then. I'm going to sand here like this. Now if it was on the other side, I wouldn't be able to see the mark. I don't want to sand on that side. I'll show you what I mean. There's the mark that I did originally. So I haven't got any room over here at the moment. So I've got the mark on the back so I can swing around here. This is 60 grit paper if you're interested. So I will now switch the dust extractor over to that. And that port there. All right. This is so easy. This is a tapered port. It just pushes on underneath there. That's done. And the cable I have connected. Done. All right. Put on. Wayne, catch you all later. Bandwidth not good enough here in Greveston. Oh, that's a shame. See you later, Wayne. Morning, Planty. How are you? Drip slot. Maybe I could do a drip slot. That'd be an interesting thing, but I don't know if I really need to. Okay, see, Wayne, DuckDuckGo is your friend. Okay. I have to move everything out of the way that's in line with this. Done. Now this is going to make a little bit of noise, not a lot. So you may want to turn the sound down a little bit. All right. Done. And the other end. Done. Okay, so can you see any dust? This new extraction system I've put in, is all it is the 6-inch pipe instead of 4-inch. I've got 4-inch right at the machine. I've still got the 2-horse dust extractor on it. Nothing, absolutely nothing is getting away. It leaves the other stuff for dead. Oh, it's brilliant, Steve. All right. Whilst I have my earphones here, I'm going to do a little bit more noise. My eye muffs. I've got a 1/4 inch roundover in here. I always put them in without the battery, because otherwise you're asking for trouble. Now, one little thing about these Ryobi trimmers, if you get one or if you want one, that I went and bought this, no one gave it to me. The fault with these guys is it has this opening here. When you're pushing it along, I hold it like that. It's very easy for your finger to sneak in there. Big error as far as I'm concerned. Now, there are a couple of holes here that have got threads in them. I may look at doing something that's a cover and maybe even a dust extraction port at the same time. That's a project that maybe Derek might be interested in making. So I will do the round over on this. So going to make a noise. I'm going to do it the full length. All right? And down the other side, why not? You know what I've forgotten to do? Send out the post on Insta. You'll get another post on Facebook in a second as well. Installed 3 this week. Just need to link it to the dust extractor this week. They make life easy. They really do. I'm going to finish the trim around the end there. Okay, we can have a look. That's what I've got now. Really nice towards the front. I will possibly do the underside as well, but what I'm going to do, who will invent a noise cancelling router? Thanks, Dave. All right, let's throw this on and I'll bring the camera back over and you can have another look at how sexy it looks with that little bit of work done to it. Take these off, switch cameras. There we go. So that's going to be really people friendly. There's a little bit of space there for water to drop down and get, so it's not getting caught in there at all. So I've left about 1 millimeter at both ends. I will round off the bottom a little later, not during the show because it'll just a lot of noise that'll be upsetting. There we go. Now what I want to show is there's the rear profile of my bench, which I really like. It's a nice shaped arch and the edges are all good. I'm going to show you a picture of another one. Let me just tip that up so you can see that. So you'll notice also, I'm going to do a little bit of showing off. All of these rails I've made to be in the same line. Even this one and even this one. They're all on the same line. Obviously this one up here can't be because that's too high. So this isn't messing with my OCD. It's I'm really, my OCD is really happy. The rear rail and all the ones in the middle here are going to overhang the support by 10 millimeters at both ends. And I will also round them over the same way. Okay, back to this one. And I'll show you the other picture. This is the one that I thought looked really nice until I did mine. I'm not being a head swell, but I think the arch at the back is too flat. The peaks are a little bit high as it's coming down. The third rail up, if you have a look closely, doesn't really line up. It's just missing that third rail up on the armrest. I don't know. But there's mine again, and from the middle, a little bit easier to see it, like so. There we go. Also, I didn't need a center support underneath here because the main rail here is blackbutt, which is F27 hardwood. This is extremely strong stuff. It didn't need a second rail here and a support in the middle to support the weight of people sitting on here. I could put 5 people on there and I'd maybe get a millimetre or 2 deflection. That'd be about it. Very, very strong timber. And also, I didn't like the idea of a rail between these at the front, because if you want to put your feet back under the bench, it'd get in the way. You know, you clunk it all the time. So that's why this one's back here. I think the guy from the woodworking magazine in the States was really switched on and did these things correctly. Now, this is close, but it's not an exact copy. I've kind of freehanded it a little bit as well. Also, you'll notice down here, if I do this, it's not actually on there. I've got rubber feet under there that I've screwed into the underside as well. So I've primed and sealed and finish coat under there. Then I screwed rubber feet to the base, and that will keep it up out of the water because it's going out into an environment. I didn't want it sitting in the wet. Where are we? Back here. Just annual insurance increased by almost 20%. I didn't lose any cover. NRMA paid straight away, not a problem. Oh, well, when I say straight away, there was so much happening because it was a major event with the floods. I think it was 2 weeks from the time I lodged the claim to being paid. And they gave me a cash settlement, went straight into the bank. I paid the floor layers to come in and do stuff, and we did a little bit more as well, which, you know, that's fine. I was trying to future-proof, so we got rid of the carpet and put a floating floor in instead. Wood is the rail under the seat. It's blackbutt. It's an Australian timber, Jeffrey. You like your bench best. Well, that's wonderful, baby. Let me see. What's the next thing we're going to do? That's right. We're going to drill. So we'll do that now, and I'll set this up again, the camera, so that it can look down on top of what we're doing. And I'll explain why I'm doing things as it happens. About there. Might be fine. So I'm going to switch the cameras around again. Camera 3. There we go. This area is, even though I'm plugging, I really do want to try and keep it nice and neat and tidy. I've got to go past, no, I don't have to go past there. I can get the square from the other area. My square's not there. Good on you, David. Good on you. Where is it? Let me see if I can use this instead. No, I do have to get my square. Squeeze past again. And that flush cut saw will be needed as well. I've been working up in the house doing new skirting boards and things like that after the flooring was laid. So there we go. Thanks, T. Bickle Woodworking. All right. I'm going to put a mark, basically center there. That's good. And draw a line across. And do the same here. And draw a line across. The reason being, I want all the screws to be in line. Now I'm going to drill a very large pilot hole. Ordinarily, you do a pilot hole that's, gives the screw a fair bit of bite. But because this is all hardwood, I don't need to give it as much bite. So I don't want to run the risk of splitting the teak. We'll get there. This one here, I'll put a mark there. And down here, same kind of thing. Now I need to come in. I should have brought my combination square back in with me, but I haven't. What I do have is a marking gauge. I'd ordinarily use a combination square as a marking gauge because it's quick and I can use a pencil with it. So this is my marking gauge. I'll move that back. I'm going to go half the width of what I've got there. Unlock that. Okay. Now I can spin this around like so, and there. You guys may not be able to see it very well, but I can, and that's the important thing because I'm the one doing it. And if I can't see it, well, I might stuff the project up. And this one here. Yeah, that dust extraction. Wow. Yeah, I was doubting it when I was doing it. I was thinking, the dust extraction I've got works. And Steve Bruford made a comment, if it works, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, I'm glad I did fix it. Okay. Back over to the Stanton bench. That's a question that I asked at the beginning of the show, Chris. I don't know. I'm going to try out some resin work after the show today. Oh, good. Good luck with that. Easy to break small drill bits and seasoned Oz hardwood. And also break the timber too. All right, this is this little bit, as I was saying, that spins, and then this is a drill that's going to center, but it's mainly this little part down here that I'm after, which is the countersink, which has got parallel size beyond that. So I will drill into here at the spots where I put the mark. I'm going to think again, just making sure, because I'm talking to you guys and I really do need to focus. G'day, Nick. How are you, buddy? Yes. Okay, all good. Now this is the part where it gets interesting. I'll show you what I've got. So there is the hole that's been drilled through, and it's created a parallel slot that's countersunk, waiting for the drill or for the screw to go into it. Now the screws that I'm using are these guys. These are countersunk, stainless steel, but this part here is quite thick. So I'm going to drill a 5.5mm hole down the center of what I've just done. So I can now put that screw in and see it sitting down low. So I'm giving you the idea of what's happening. There's the rest of the screw coming out the bottom, and I will use a 4mm screw, or drill I should say, or maybe a 3. We'll see. I'll try a 3 to start, and then we'll go with the other one, a wider one if I need to. This is where the timber actually speaks to you. Well, it doesn't actually talk in your ear, but you'll get a feel for it as you're driving the screw in. You feel if it's getting too much resistance. See, hardwoods, Australian hardwoods, they're extremely dense, and you don't need a lot for the screw to bite into. But on the other side of the coin, as time goes by and it gets moisture in there, because it will absorb moisture, the timber has got moisture in it already, and when it's outside, I'm not going to have, you know, a nice 12% moisture content. It's going to go up to maybe, you know, 17% moisture content, and it will swell, and it should be good. It looks like the drill stop marks the timber. That's because I've set it up too tight. At the moment, I should back it off. I've got it all the way up on this part here. What I'll do is I'll do that now, because I can't have you thinking it's a rotten product, because it's a great product. Let me just back that off just a touch. Okay, we'll do another one. We'll show you how it goes. We'll bring the other camera over so you can watch close up and down. About there. Control. Houston. Yeah, that looks all right. Okay, there's the mark that I've got to drill. And there's the center there. All right. Clear it. Then we go again. No marking. You see it didn't spin that time? It was just jamming a little bit. But I do want to go a little bit deeper. What I could have done is just left that part off. But I'm not going to muck around and change it at the moment. I'm going to take it back up to, let's go to about there. Yeah, it's still catching. I need to back it off and bring it just a touch. Might be a bit of gunk stuck in there. Let's see how that goes. That looks pretty good. And drill the clearance hole. And then put the screw in it. Out of the way. How's that look to you? You happy with that one? All right. There we go. Now, we're going to switch the other camera here again. Now, the show may not be a full-length show today. We might cut it short. And I don't think we're going to do the post-Zoom meeting either. Anzac Day, I want to get some things done as well, as far as Anzac Day is concerned. I don't want to be hanging around here for another hour. I need to kind of cut that today. I'm hoping that's all right with everyone else. And I'm sure that the people that were going to join me from Australia for the Zoom meeting would be understanding and doing the same kind of thing. It's all over the keyboard. Look at that. Okay, next. We need to make the plugs. So I shall bring this over here and I'll show you how I do it. Switch cameras. This little guy here is a plug cutter. It's what's called a tapering plug cutter. And this is one of the reasons why I've popped this show in Woodwork for Beginners. This is what it looks like. Now, at the top, it's the full width of what we want. But as it comes down, it tapers in. The diameter of that hole gets smaller the further down we go. And I'll show you why. And this one is the first one I've seen that's got a 3/8 shank on it. These are horribly strong. I put it in a drill press because then I don't damage myself. All right. This is an offcut from the end of one of the decking boards. And I'm going to clamp the offcut down so it can't move around. Put a bit of light there so you can see what's going to happen. I don't have any dust extraction hooked up to this, but I'm going to make this go in a little way. There's going to be a little bit of noise. I'm holding onto the back. There's one. Two. Three. I'm going to do 4 because that's what I need basically straight off the cuff. Okay, so that's all the plugs ready. The next thing I've got to do is get them out of there. Now there's a couple of ways. I could put a screwdriver down there and crack it, but I found that's not a very good way. That's a naughty way of doing it. The best way that I've found is to come over to the bandsaw, and I'm going to take the dust extraction off the drum sander, or the belt and disc sander, and put it on the bandsaw. Now, I do all this mucking around here because of the show. Ordinarily, I'd have them parked away, not on display like this, and it's very quick for me to do the change. I'm going to do a quick read. Good with you, Cole. Respect. John Parra, happy Anzac Day. Yes. No, it's not a Veritas. But Veritas do make tapering plug cutters. All right. So the next thing we do is we're going to run this through the bandsaw like so. Being rounded, what I could have done is to flatten that off on the joint or a plane a little bit more to give me a bit more support, but I'm going to be okay. Once I'm on the cut, it'll hold. I'm not going to use the fence because of the height that this is. The fence is going to be way out of the way, and I'd have to raise the support up out of the way. And if I tip it down, there's not enough support. Like if I were to take this off and turn it down flat, and I'll show you how that works. I can turn it down flat like that. Put that in there. But it doesn't give the timber enough support. I should really make a jig to go on it, but at the moment I'm going to park it over there. I've got it at the right height, so the bearings are going to support quite well. I can turn her on, and you can see what's going to happen. There they are, all my little tapered plugs. And give it a second, you'll hear the dust extractor turn itself off. There are the tops, like so, or that way up. So the side that doesn't have the cut on it is the top. Let's go over here. And I'll do a demonstration on a bit of waste. Bring this back over here. But also I'll show you here. You line up the direction of the grain, and then you put it in with some glue after you've put the screw in and give it a tap. There we go, all of those. And as I say, for demonstration purposes, we'll do one in this bit of wood. How good is that? Okay, drill this. I won't put any screw in there, I'll just drill a hole. So there's our hole. Spin it around this way. And a plug. Making sure we've got the taper on. You can see the taper ever so slightly there. It's going to go that way. Now I've said that, I've got to look at it. Yep, it's that way. And we'll line the grain up to go like so. And get a hammer over there. Now you could use a mallet or a hammer, it doesn't really matter. Your first hit's the important one. There's the plug in it. And then the next thing we do is we make sure that we utilise the Stanton bench by getting this out. Oh, if you hadn't seen, if you want one of these benches, which is very, very handy, link in the description below here. So let's lock that in position. I can tighten that up a little. Now, plus is that direction. Got him. And I think I have a flush cut saw here somewhere. I thought I brought one over. There it is. Now, flush cut saws. There's a quick thing about these. The coarse teeth and fine teeth. Coarse teeth for ripping, fine teeth for crosscut. This is actually ripping because I'm going down the grain. I haven't turned this around like a dowel. A dowel that had gone in there would be cross-cutting. But because this is out of the long grain, that's what I'm going to do. And I think I might have a little bit of sandpaper here. A little bit of 180. And a block. Why not? Not looking too bad. Now when I've painted that, I'll blow that off with a compressed air and paint it, and you won't see any screw head. That's where the hole is for the screw to come through. So the seat will be really, really comfortable. Now I want to show you one more thing before I close the show down, because as I say, we might shut down a little early today. I'll spin this around this way and raise that up. Yeah, about there. About 3 years ago, or maybe a bit longer, I was going to build this thing about 3 or 4 years ago. Perpendicular to the table, I could have, yep. 3 years ago, I was going to build this bench. And it just never happened. As I said, life gets busy. And the same thing with a lot of people. It gets busy out there. I'm going to show you what I bought. I'll pop this up here. That's just going to look beautiful. And back around here. There we go. It's the right color and everything. I bought this cushion. It's a 3-seater. And I thought, perfect for a bench. Now, I built that bench to suit this. when the rest of the slats are in, that will be extremely comfortable. I'll do a close-up for you. Very, very nice. And as it has a dip here, that will push down in the middle, and this will be so, so comfortable. The arms up here, if you're sitting in the middle, you can put your arms out like this and just relax. Let's come back there a bit further. Okay, so if I'm sitting in the middle here, I just put my arms out, and it's such a really nice design. You put your arms out there, it'll support them beautifully. Put your elbows on there, it'll support them beautifully. If you're sitting on the end, these are really comfortable, and you can also throw your arm up over there. It's such a nice design. Anyway, I'm going to do more on this during the week, and then next week, I think what we might do is we'll sharpen that blade, unless of course I get excited and sharpen it during the week. I don't know what we'll do next week, but look, I'll think of something during the week and I'll put some stuff up on social media about it. And I'll come over to this one here. Perfect. Next project, ottomans and drink tables. What colour will the rest of the bench be? Brian, I'm pretty sure I'm going to paint it all, the rest of it white. Fancy buying the cushion? Yeah, weird, eh? Perfect fit, looks great. Cult royalty, yes, perfect fit. Next project, let me see. Well, Lutyens did design New Delhi, I believe. Oiled or painted? It's an oil paint. There you go. There's your answer. It's a white gloss. That's what I'll do. I don't think I'll. Yeah, I think white, because the cushion's going to be designed to go on it. Gone above and beyond always. Thanks, Dave, and have a good day. Thanks, buddy. All right, look after yourselves. Be nice to each other. Thank you to all my patrons. Check the links in the description box below. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I shall see you next week. Bye.